Hi. Welcome to the horror deconstruction with your host, Compound.
Blooper the Squid.
Today's film is
Leprechaun in the Hood.
Leprechaun in the Hood is a 2000 film. It's about a leprechaun that ends up in the inner city, Compton, CA. More comedy than horror on its fifth installment. Who wrote that shit? Anyway,
Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad you're not going to do that the whole time.
What is it? St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Happy St.
Yay. Let's have some good drinks, and let's keep the gays out of the parade. Woo!
Wear your green. Show your pride.
But don't show your penis to another man. That's what they want. That's so important. That
I think that's ridiculous. That they fucking did that. What the fuck?
What
the whole day is about having fun and getting drunk. Why does it have to exclude people?
I don't know. I think what it is, what we found out is, yeah, let's get political here for a second. Where's our, like, CNN music? But,
well, yeah, you should put some in here right now.
Ding, 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 ding. No, that's like 10-10 wins. So anyway, we have a thing in New York City which is called the New York, was it the New York? No, St. Patrick's Day Parade, right? Or
yeah. It's the stupidest.
They don't add the moniker names?
If you're from New York, you're either stupid and enjoy it, or you're like me and don't enjoy it, and I'm not stupid.
Well, I don't give a shit either way about the parade or anything. I guess the drinking is fine for people. I can't drink anymore.
It's just obnoxious. It's just a bunch of idiots who see it as an excuse to be complete assholes.
Well,
like, no offense, like, drinking is fun, but
we should
know.
point out that Danny is incredibly racist towards Irish people. So I don't know.
It's true.
They used to beat his people up when they arrived to America.
It's
You're gonna get back on the fucking boat. Anyway, that was the greatest scene in Gangs of New York when Daniel Day-Lewis has this giant stovepipe hat and they're throwing rocks at people just coming off the boat. That's the greatest. Anyway, but with the St.
Everybody tells me I look like him.
So apparently, yeah, you do actually. The St. Patrick's Day Parade is this annual thing, obviously, that happens on St. Patrick's Day, where people drink and imbibe, I guess, alcohol, and several groups are represented, like policemen, firemen, stuff like that. We have a new mayor called Mayor de Blasio. I should call him Mayor Frankenstein because he's about like 8 feet tall.
I don't even know what he looks like. Yeah, he's so new.
Oh, you haven't seen him? He's pretty tall. He'd probably get a lot of pussy back then in the 40s. And a lot of people were voting because, you know what's funny about him is that his wife is an African-American woman who used to be a lesbian. And he actually...
Used to be?
Yes. Apparently, he has a magic white dick.
He's, you know what? He's what the Christian church is, like, praying for. They should try to... They're gonna try to, like, extract his magic and see what he has.
To straighten out everything. That's what Fred Phelps is using on his way out. He's like, where are they? We're gonna get that super dick! Anyway.
Man,
so the parade, we have an issue in New York City where these gay people get offended by not being included in this parade and being out, you know, which is, you know, I understand, you know, not being represented. Although, I guess apparently the parade is a private parade, although it's kind of...
It's New York... whatever. It's
New
York City. If it's not happening here, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it's pretty strange, but that's why our mayor decided not to do it, and he went to, like, parades in other areas. I think he went to a parade in Brooklyn, which allowed people, you know, allowed gay people to actually, you know, fly their flags, so to speak. So, bravo, whatever. Anyway, so this film, it's a St. Patrick's
Yeah, back to
thing.
the film.
It's about a leprechaun. I don't know what that IMDb... Let me read that.
Would you say this was a brilliant movie?
I gotta say this. It might be my favorite Leprechaun movie.
Oh, come on. No way.
I'm not kidding. It's good. I liked it. It's bad, but it's entertaining enough that I watched it and didn't... there were some parts
What about the third one in Las Vegas? That was great.
I thought that was the second one.
No, that's the third one.
What happened in the second one? I don't remember. But anyway, there's a time fuck up in this movie. Obviously, these writers do not care about the manner of events that these films happen because
I don't think the writers care about much.
At the beginning of this film, obviously it's in the 70s, or we're supposed to believe that because of the great acting of Ice Cube. Is it right? No, Ice-T. Ice-T. There's a funny movie called Fear of a Black Hat where there's a guy named Ice Trey who's the main rapper, and then he gets into a room and there's a bunch of rappers with different ice monikers, and he just has to like fight them all, or he gets upset at them. Anyway, so Ice-T is in this film. Probably the best acting I've ever seen from Ice-T because he's a pretty horrible actor.
He's okay in Law and Order.
Yeah, but he's always like, you know, I gotta do my thing. He does that kind of monotone acting. I would say he and Snoop Dogg are about equal in acting.
Oh, come on now. Snoop Dogg's cooler.
Acting-wise?
Yeah.
You don't know me. You know, that kind of acting? Is that what you like? Oh, remind me we got to do Bones. That was the worst movie. Holy mackerel. And the friend that I saw it with, he was like, that movie was great. And I was like, no shit, because you talk like him. Oh, that movie had orange blood. Orange blood, Bones did. That was a horrible movie. Oh, man, that movie.
Hey, you've never seen Orange Blood? Come on.
Is that what black people have?
It's from
orange
drinking
blood?
all that orange soda.
Oh, boy. There goes my theme song. Hold on for a second. Anyway, so yes, so this film takes place in the hood, and it's there's an opening sequence in the 70s. What are people texting me? All of a sudden, I don't talk to anybody.
Phone on vibrate. Be a professional here.
Yeah,
we're professionals.
For the 5 people that listen to this show. So anyway, it's in the 70s. It's the opening because we see Ice-T has got his fro and his plaid pants and a
nice
jacket.
Afro. He pulls a baseball bat out of it. I like that.
Yeah, I guess that was a very I mean, we're tuned into what kind of film this is when he comedically pulls out a bunch of weapons out of his afro. He and his buddy go, and I guess they have some sort of, was it a treasure map or something, where they were looking for
They found the gold, and he apparently knew about the flute because he knew exactly what he was looking for.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that. He must have read some
he
lore.
went straight for it, and he's like, you could have everything else.
There was probably some huge, like, giant backstory that was written, like a whole novel that was supposed to coincide with watching this film.
And they cut it all out.
The story of, what was his name in the movie?
It was too dramatic for
this. It was the story of Mac Daddy's rise.
It's coming to be. It was like Breaking Bad, but, you know, like his version of it.
He was a nice guy until one day he just decided to go for the gold. And anyway, so he and his buddy are in the 70s, and they go looking for this gold. They break into, I guess it was underneath the tunnels of the train stations, right? Stuff like that in the 1970s. Well, anyway, they go and they actually find this gold. There's a statue, which is obviously the Leprechaun himself, and he's frozen and he's green. It's a green statue.
He's wearing a necklace.
And he has a
magical necklace.
It's a specific pose that he's in, like he's kind of launching himself at somebody. And it's kind of funny because in a few minutes after that, like I guess they only had budget for one really good statue and then one shitty one.
Yeah, I noticed that the statue changed.
He gets turned into a second statue form, and it's not even green anymore. It's like
how hard is it to make a second? It doesn't even have to be big. You could do it little and just make it look big.
I can imagine when they paid the people in Chinatown to make that statue. Like, why gotta make the rest of these shit? That's my French accent, but whatever. So it was a French guy that made it. But yeah, the statue's there has a gold locket around its neck. The Ice-T's buddy, Mac Daddy's buddy, excuse me, takes the chain off the Leprechaun while Mac Daddy is busy looking at his spoils, which is a flute and some gold coins that he gets.
Why couldn't they like glue the necklace to it or something?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, he'll turn.
Or even better, why don't they destroy the sculpture?
But he might reform, wouldn't you think? Like the term T-1000 or something.
Well, could they melt down the sculpture and the necklace so the necklace is entwined in every atom of it?
I think you just solved the problem for anybody in the future Leprechaun films. I guess.
Yeah, but we already know in the future he's in outer space with that girl who shows her tits as a mean insult.
What's funny about this one is that when the Leprechaun goes free, he scares the shit out of the Mac Daddy's friend, and the guy's like 6 feet tall, and the Leprechaun's 3 feet. I would say 3 feet, right?
I'd say like even less.
Man. And he's standing there cowering, and for some reason he happens to get his own afro pick jutted into his chest, which is about like 3 feet higher than the actual Leprechaun.
Now, do you think the afro pick wouldn't bend or snap or something?
You know what? I think about
Do you think it would pierce through bone? What? I mean, the other day I actually had an ice pop, just a popsicle stick in my mouth. I was going down the stairs and I was envisioning if I fell and it would like stab into the back of my throat and kill me.
I think you just wanted something stabbing at the back of your throat. But anyway.
True. And actually, when I was a little kid, I had a straw up my nose. And then I remember I like accidentally bumped the bottom of it, and it like cut a hole in my nose.
Yeah, I think that happened. I think that happened to me too. I'm pretty sure that happened to me as well. It's just like
pouring blood.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't understand how did he just lean in for the Leprechaun to stab him in the chest, or did the Leprechaun jump? We will never know.
We'll never know. We have to imagine. It's like a Hitchcock movie. You got to imagine what happened.
Is there? He doesn't let it kind of lay itself out.
A lot of it is kind of like he doesn't show like gore and stuff. It's more like left to the viewer's mind.
So the Leprechaun confronts Mac Daddy, who I don't know, I forgot how it happened, but the jewelry ends up back over the Leprechaun's head. Do we think that although
fell up in the air and landed on him,
and then he turns back into that shitty
what
statue?
are the chances?
Although it's funny because that happened in the 70s, so I seriously thought maybe no, I'll get to that. I'll get to that a little bit later. But anyway, the film jumps towards the future where we're seeing 3 of probably the worst rappers I've ever seen in my life. I don't know why.
But at that time period, maybe they weren't that bad.
No, I remember. No. This is what, the 2000s film?
Well, it's supposed to be in the 90s because it's 20 years later. I don't know.
Does it really say that? Yeah, it's in 2000. Nah, but I don't think they're smart enough to make a fucking movie that was like in the 90s.
Does it matter?
Unless those guys were dressed up like that in the 80s. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, it jumps forward. I'm assuming it's the late 90s because this film is 2000.
Yeah, I guess in that time. Well, look at Will Smith, though.
Yes, what about Will Smith?
Saying I feel like he would fit in with them.
This is more trying to be the gangster rap or the West Coast rap. I got confused because one character wears a shirt that says Brooklyn in it halfway, and I was like, "Is this take place in New York?"
He's like a hipster. He's being ironic.
But then I realized there was the Asian guy, and then there was that the black store owner, and I was like, "Wait, this is more like Los Angeles because you got to have a race."
It is Los Angeles.
You have to have an Asian guy that's racist against black people in every West Coast film. Just watch Boys in the Hood, or you'll know what that means. But anyway, jumps forward, and it's 3 rappers. There is a Butch, who is the DJ. There is Stray Bullet, which is a pretty cool name, and then there's the
Postmaster P.
Postmaster P, because why is that?
Stamps and Mail Express.
No, he was actually a big fan of Kevin, whatever his name movie, you know, the Postman. Damn, that joke. Wait, that joke fell really flat. So let's forget. Let's forget I said that. Let's forget I said that joke. So anyway, these guys are trying to do positive rap, and as you know, positive rap doesn't mean shit. It's horrible. It seems like
it could be good.
It only seems like the only positive rappers is probably Beastie Boys. Okay, that's it. I think that's only the positive.
Are they positive? Really?
I don't remember them ever saying anything negative that made me feel conscious about it. You know, white people love.
Well, they're not necessarily positive. They're just not talking about shooting people.
Is that shooting people might be positive sometimes.
Yeah.
So anyway, these 3 guys are rapping. There's Postmaster P. They're 3 of the most wiggity-wiggitiest whack rappers I've ever seen. Well, at least Butch is the DJ. What the fuck is Butch doing in the beginning that he's fucking with chemicals? Is he trying to make like a stage show or something?
I think he's supposed to be like... they're trying to vaguely go for this idea that he's really smart.
No, I get that, but I mean, why is he fucking with chemicals at the very beginning?
I told you, this was a Breaking Bad take.
Was he trying to make...
He's making, blue meth.
That's what he was doing. Anyway, these 3
That's
rappers.
How he's gonna claim the thing.
But I mean, this is really bad rap. It's like it bugs me, and maybe
it definitely made me feel uncomfortable, like throughout the movie. Actually,
is it just because they were black that it bothered you, or just because?
Well, I mean that goes without saying, but no, like all the musical parts, including the very, very end with the Leprechaun, made me feel weird.
It's just really bad. I mean. You would think, like, these are people, but then again, the movie's about a leprechaun, and obviously there's not a lot of thought going into the film in the first place. I bet you these are people, whoever wrote the lyrics and rap songs in this film, thought they were actually trying to make something really good. I hope this shit isn't even on the soundtrack, because there was a soundtrack on sale. I bet the guy was
so proud of his screenplay.
Oh, I'm sure he was. It was fucking...
Yeah, he nailed it. His name's Doug Hall, John Huffman, Mark Jones.
Who? Oh, the rappers in the movie?
No, the writers.
Oh, okay, I see. Oof. And the director is no, Mark Jones created the character, so I don't think he actually wrote this one. But Rob Spira directed this film. Stars Warwick Davis. Obviously, everybody knows who he is. He's from Willow and everything else, and the Harry Potter films. I love him. But yeah, so these 3 guys are rapping, and I'm just going to the point, like, why would these guys know? I mean, how would they not know how rap sounded in the 90s? There was obviously rappers that... I mean, Coolio makes an appearance in the film, and I bet you they spent a lot of money just to have him appear for, like, 5 seconds in this movie. He does nothing. He just, like, appears and disappears. And it might have been at the height of his... it
was, like, during...
Dangerous Minds?
And all that.
Dangerous Minds, or what?
Yeah.
This was probably at the very tail end, because I remember looking at the cover, and he's very prominent in the DVD cover. I think...
That guy,
Coolio, he actually went bald, and now he has those... You know how he has that specific hairstyle?
Yeah.
He only has like a couple of them as like pigtails, but he's bald the rest of his head. It's very disturbing. It's very strange looking.
Yeah, that's weird.
I'm not joking. You could Google it up. It's pretty bad. Google Images, everybody. We're shilling for Microsoft. Is it? Wait, is Google? Who cares? But anyway, it's pretty bad rapping. Reminds me of there was a film called 8 Mile with Eminem, and Eminem like has to rap. He's called B-Rabbit in that movie. And he's rapping against this bad guy. The villain of the film was kind of a kick-ass dude. I mean, kicking everybody else's ass and rapping. And his rapping was the worst rapping I ever saw. I mean, it's only by this standard. It's only better than that film. But I mean, I don't understand how you can't just hire.
Oh, Coolio does look bad. Jesus.
I don't know how you can't just hire like an actual rapper and then have them write the lyrics or even dub, because these guys are like.
Well, he's got Eminem in there. I mean, what the hell?
These guys are like, from the front to the back, I'm not whack. And you're like, whoa, like it's really horrible. I mean, it's horrible.
Well, they
rapping.
even say at one point that they suck. The only reason they're successful at all is because they have a.
Oh, because they play a magical flute. Okay, let's go with that. But still, it's pretty terrible. I was gonna say terrible in French, but anyway, the three guys are trying to get up in the game, and their pitfalls is that they stink, and everybody kind of laughs at them,
and they can't get money, and their equipment got destroyed. So then they decide to get money. They're going to rob. They had like a confrontation with Mac Daddy, and now they're going to rob him.
Because they want to play for Mac Daddy, and Mac Daddy, to sign up for him to sign them up on his label, I guess. Because I guess he must have used that fortune or in the flute, because the flute gives a hypnotizing effect where it kind of makes everybody listen to you and like whatever you do, kind of like a Pied Piper thing. Yeah. So now he's like kind of a big music mogul. He's sort of like a Suge Knight kind of character. But the thing is Mac Daddy necessarily a bad guy, you think?
Well, yeah.
In what sense?
He's like a gangster. He like shoots people and shit.
He's only shooting these guys because they robbed him.
No, but why does he have a gun? Do good people carry
Because he's rich now, Danny. If you were rich, would you not carry a gun? Just in case people want to kill you? Yeah, but then they're
like, we want to do positive stuff. And he's like, no, we're only going to do shit about killing people.
Because he knows what sells.
Yeah, he's a douche.
He's a dickhead, but I don't think he was as bad as, he's a dickhead by proxy.
Like evil like Fred Phelps evil.
That's the second time we're mentioning him.
But
I'm telling you, us talking about him is going to revive him, and he's going to become super healthy now.
All the people that pick at his funeral
he goes, he's like,
cry tears of joy, and the tears are going to fall into the depths of hell and bring him back.
He's like, I feel the hatred of a wetback and a Jew. I'm alive. I'm alive. Anyway. So anyway, the boys, we also meet Jackie D, who's a guy who, they're trying to sell a guitar. It's pretty humorous, I think. They're trying to sell him a guitar that has Jimi Hendrix's signature of 1916.
You know what the worst part of the movie is to me? Is that these kids, the actors that play the rappers, are actually decent actors.
Yeah, no, that's why I won't shit in this movie completely, because the guys are pretty good.
But it's such a waste.
I'll give them this. Like, there was parts in the films where I'm watching, and they're just, like, focusing on the three guys. The three guys are very good actors. The guys playing Postmaster P, Butch, and Stray Bullet. They're actually pretty decent. They're good actors. They're not bullshit actors.
I like Stray Bullet a lot.
Everybody across the board is pretty good. Like, they give a shit about acting in this film.
Yeah, but then it's like, they degrade them. They make them dress in drag.
I'll get to that, because there's something very funny about that, but obviously besides the obvious.
I just feel bad for them. It's like, man.
Yeah. It's kind of like,
anything else ever again.
It's almost like, when you get in a big role. It was like when we did Nurse 3D, and we're like, why is she getting naked in the showers? Like, the main girl, Katrina Bonin, in that movie. We're like, if you're given a starring role, you get a nice pay cut, and you have to get naked and do stupid shit in the movie. But you're a prominent player in a film, and acting is not easy for everybody, and not everybody makes it. Just like you and I are like artists, there's a billion artists out there. Just like actors.
Yeah, I know. But if somebody was like, okay, you can be a sort of successful artist in a gallery, but you have to make drip paintings and poop on a can, and then just like, do it in front of a live audience. I'd be like, no.
I know. I've had, but then you see like artists that are, when we went to art school, we had art teachers who like had to do professional work and then on the side did their own work. So I mean, I think that's how it goes, and that's why a lot of actors will go into acting in plays.
I don't know. I think this movie's pretty bad.
Well, no, this movie's pretty bad. There's no. I would love to be in this movie. I don't care. It's terrible.
I would love to be in it too, but that's because I'm joking. I couldn't imagine being a serious actor and like, you know, being like, oh, I'm gonna make it, man. And
Everybody has their start. Everybody has their start. But what did you think about the main characters, Postmaster P, Stray Bullet, and Butch?
I liked Stray Bullet.
Yeah, Stray Bullet. Stray Bullet looks like Fredro Starr. If anybody is familiar with that guy, he was from a group. Oh God, look up Fredro Starr, please, Danny, and tell me who he's from.
Okay. Keep talking.
I think Fredro Starr was the star. He was a rapper for a while. I think he was in my OPP.
He's a rapper and actor from
what group?
Queens.
It doesn't say what group he was. He was
Onyx.
in Onyx. Onyx was which means Black Stone, by the way, which is a very prominent group in New York City. It was a rap group. They had if you're down with OPP, then you know me. He looks like him.
Oh yeah, okay, I know.
He looks just like him. Let me look at his name because Rashawn Nell. That's a different guy. But anyway, he reminded me of him the whole time, and he's also playing this asshole. I think Fredro Starr also played Blade, or I could be wrong. It could have been one of the other guys from there. Poor Onyx. One of them turned into a porn.
Blade?
Yeah, they had a TV show of Blade for a little bit.
Oh,
a little while. I think that same guy who, I don't know, poor Onyx. One of them turned out to be a porn star, and the other guy was like, I don't know, obscure. Anyway, so this film, these three guys, I liked them. It was so funny because watching parts of the film, it felt like Boys in the Hood because you're seeing these three young.
It was kind of good, and the Reverend was awesome.
Yeah, the Reverend was funny. Like they play on a lot of stereotypes in this film. The shuffling old grandmother, blind, the lecherous priest or the pastor. There's the angry Asian store owner. Pimp. I mean, I was like, wow.
It was like the original guy from The Hangover, that Asian store owner guy.
And the funny thing is, these three rappers are trying to go to some big Vegas thing where they can win a prize and I guess get signed to a record label. And they kept saying Vegas, Vegas, and I was like, does this fit into the timeline of Leprechaun 3? But then I was like, it doesn't make sense because it would be having it at the same time, wouldn't it? It just didn't make any sense. If they would have
maybe he did that on the side.
Yeah, right. He just like, I got to go out of here. Everything's bigger.
I don't. We never saw his little like girl slaves. What do you call them? His fly girls.
Fly girls from hell or some shit. Zombie fly girls or some shit like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, those girls were fucking hot. Oh, that main fly girl was so fucking sexy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I forget her name.
You pig.
They were all three really good guys. The Leprechaun was good in the film, as always. He's always good in every movie.
He's awesome.
He's kind of like Chucky, like in every Chucky film.
He could do no wrong.
Yeah, you can. They build it over. And I just think about Warwick Davis because he gets a starring role. And he just, he's just like, fuck it, I'll do it. Although he's probably not Irish, he's English, right? So we see the rise and fall of this group. And Postmaster P, they decide to rob Ice-T's character, Mac Daddy. And it's so funny because Postmaster P makes the accident of pulling the trigger and killing Postmaster P, supposedly. Shoots him in the chest, Postmaster P Mac Daddy falls down. Then they see the Leprechaun come out, who's a 3-foot guy, not a threat at all. And then they were like, let's kill that Chucky motherfucker. And they shoot him to death. Like, they do it on purpose. Like, for Mac Daddy, they shoot him once.
Like, nice boys to, like, serial killers.
I know, and Postmaster P is supposed to be like this, the man of reason in this film, like the nice guy who makes a mistake, and he just finished shooting Mac Daddy. You see him, and he looks like horrified of what he's done. Right. And 5 seconds later.
Well, then again, no, if that Leprechaun walked out, I'd be pretty scared.
Yeah, but I would think it's a guy in a costume. I wouldn't think it's a fucking. He's 3 feet tall. Like what? If you see a 3 feet guy.
But he's got like claws and shit.
Yeah, but you would take whatever. Anyway, so Leprechaun is free of his bonds, and he's obviously looking for his gold. He's more interested in his flute than he is. He's sort of interested in his gold, but more in the flute. Something that's never factored in any other films. Although I like its presence in this film. I like the flute idea. I like when he confronts Mac Daddy in a bathroom because Mac Daddy's like freaked out.
And he takes his finger. Oh, he's like. Interesting aroma.
It's a weed scene. The first time I ever saw parts of this film, I saw that part, and I was like, I can't watch this movie. I just turned it off, but I'm glad I watched it now. But anyway, for some reason, anybody that he ends up biting off the finger or ripping off the finger of Mac Daddy, who runs out of the place horrified, and then a bartender comes and he kicks his. I don't know what pissed off that bartender so much that he wanted to kick. Like the Leprechaun's ass. He just did it. Like he just wanted to fight him, and then Leprechaun electrocutes him to death and gives him green eyeballs.
Yeah.
I mean, there's random deaths in the film that don't make any. There's like Jackie D, who's a pawn shop owner, and he kind of makes a deal with the kids after they rob from Mac Daddy. He gives them their equipment because all their equipment gets busted in the beginning of the film, and he gives them an extra $500. Although I'm sure that gold was worth a lot fucking more.
Yeah, no, that gold was worth like thousands of dollars. You know what like bothers it? You know, all the Leprechaun movies, he uses all this cool magic and explodes people, whatever. But I still can't get over the fact that he's firing guns in the space one.
Why is that? Oh,
because it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Why would he be firing a gun?
It's a little crazy. I mean, it's the Leprechaun in space, Danny.
I know.
Jackie D, like, what was the worst death scene for the film for you? Because to me, it has to be that.
Worst or best?
Best. I mean, worst.
Like stupidest.
Yes.
Probably the scene you just described.
With Jackie D? Oh, yeah, that's pretty bad. But I think Jackie D's is the most pointless because for some reason...
the zombie girl that's making out with him?
Leprechaun... I thought it was a tall man sequence. I really did because I thought Leprechaun turned into the woman and was making out with him. I think he was just possessing her.
Right.
I thought, you know how Tall Man let a man ejaculate inside of him? If you haven't watched the Phantasm movies, Tall Man just wanted a nut from a guy inside of him, and it's pretty disturbing. Yeah. But in this one, Jackie D is this pawn shop owner. He drives. It just seems like they had no idea what to shoot, or they shot it like at that second. Jackie D drives up, and there's a woman standing in the road. He goes, "Jackie, see." Oh,
yeah, that
Jackie
was a pretty
D.
bad dialogue, actually.
And we don't even know who this woman is. And they just mention her later that it's Stray Bullet's mother.
Right.
But maybe it's not. I don't know what's going on. So, yeah, she turns into a mutant, and then we just see him die off camera, and the Leprechaun's laughing. And I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Right.
It's pretty bad. Like, I don't understand. Like,
I think you're trying too hard to understand.
But I shouldn't. I mean, it's a dumb movie. And there's jokes about Butch being a virgin the whole time. And let's get into that sequence where they dress up like ladies because they figure out one
of... Yeah, that's the worst part of all. That was when I was like, wow, I feel so bad for these actors.
Yeah, because Leprechaun apparently has a den of hooers. Ladies. One of them is a fucking hot, like, I don't know if she's Latino or black. She's mixed. She's fucking hot.
Yeah, she is hot.
And anyway, so she's there, and then I guess Leprechaun has all these girls. He has sex with them, and then he... possesses them, like he's able to control them.
They have green eyes. This is a new thing too.
Yeah, much like Danny's golden life, he wants to possess women.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I could possess guys in drag to give me blowjobs,
that's true. Oh, that'd be pretty good. So the two guys dress up as probably the most hideous women of all time, and they decide to, try to. They found 4-leaf clovers, which I'm sure is not rare. You know what I mean? 4-leaf clovers, of course not.
I used to search for them as a kid all the time. Never found one.
Yeah, me too. Because then it'd be one of those moments where you find a 3-leaf clover and you're like, oh right, and then you're like, wait, is it 4-leaf or 3-leaf?
Yeah, it's like the third leaf has like a split in it.
Yeah, right. And then so they put it inside of a joint which the Leprechaun smokes, which I don't know why it doesn't kill him. It just kind of knocks him out. It's
and they don't take advantage of the situation either. It gets rid of his powers. They should have killed that guy right there.
I guess so. So they to try to get the flute back. By that time, Stray Bullet has been killed already because of Postmaster P's fucking stupidity.
Stray Bullet.
Which is very strange because, yeah, it's true. No, I think it wasn't Stray. It was really like pointed at him. Which is funny because I've never seen like Leprechaun actually show mercy towards people in a film, which didn't make any sense in this film. I guess it was just to...
Which one?
Remember he got his flute back and he kind of just let them go and he walked away?
Oh, yeah, but then he didn't really.
Because Postmaster wanted to kick him in the ass. That's why he killed him. He was going to let them go and he was like, just stay with your failure. And then he was going to walk out the room and I guess make them feel... I think the Leprechaun doesn't give a shit about somebody feeling bad about what happened. He's like,
I think I think that ultimately he would let someone go if he just got what he wanted and there was no problem.
I guess, but
if they were instantly like, "Oh, sorry, I found this. Here you go." Like,
I mean, if he killed Jackie D for driving in his car and not giving him that other gold, why the fuck would he not just kill Postmaster P? You know what I mean? He was killing people left and right that had nothing. He killed the Asian store owner that had nothing to do with anything. They just bought his shit with money, and he got...
Well, he's racist.
He got chopped into pieces and put into...
He doesn't like Asian food.
Oh, I guess so. He got put into jars, and his face was white in the jar. That was the funny part. He turned into a white guy in the jar. I guess it was a stunt guy who had to put his head in the water. But, yeah, so, I mean, anyway, going back to the guys had to dress up as women to infiltrate the Leprechaun's lair. It's funny because there's this theory that a lot of... well, let me just say a prominent people like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
He says that Hollywood likes to you're gonna laugh at this one. Hollywood on purpose makes films where they dress black men up as women to demoralize them, to make black men look weak. And I'm not kidding. Dave Chappelle.
You know what though? I think he's on to something.
Here's the thing. Okay, let's say that. And a lot of people have actually been springing up on IMDb. They say, "Yo, what is this? Why are they trying to make the black man look weak and all that stuff?" Then I realized, wasn't there a film with like Jack Lemmon and he dressed up as a woman in the 50s?
Yeah, no,
like Milton Berle dresses up like a woman. I've seen plenty of white people.
But it is like degrading to them.
I get that, but I mean, I think I've seen plenty of white people.
Doubtfire is great.
I know and I'm like, shouldn't Robin Williams be leading a march?
The reason that it bothered me is because it's completely just
unnecessary.
Like the writers, like, what else could I do? Okay.
I think it was just a comedic thing, but I think like they shouldn't worry about being dressed up as women in film. It just kind of seems unnecessary.
It's just so stupidly pointless. There's no reason for it. It doesn't actually have anything to do with the movie.
Do you think the director of that film says, "I'll show those black people"? He just wrote that scene in. I'll show them all, those motherfuckers. Anyway.
Maybe.
But there's a fantastic. I remember you told me the last 20 minutes of the film are going to be great, and I was like, "Oh, what is he going to rap on stage?" Which I was right, by the way. But
yeah.
Where there's a sequence where Postmaster P's, I think is his grandmother, she's feeding the leprechaun like soul food or something, and it was I'm like doing that Italian thing when you put your hand to your lips and like that. That's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in a horrible movie. It's fantastic. I was just waiting for I was waiting for this movie to get even more racist, because I love racist humor, like racial humor towards white, towards black, towards whoever. There should have been more of it. I loved it. It was great. But it was very funny, that scene. The pastor was pretty good, because he's kind of like this lecherous old man.
I was sad when he died.
He gets the young men to rap for them, or to sing some gospel for them at this group. And Stray Bullet keeps saying like really bad shit instead of like he says some Jesus loves me, I don't know, I gotta get me a hoe or something like that. The other guy, Stray Bullet, will say hoe, and everybody's like all offended, so they try to leave, and then they play the flute and everybody gets, wind of it.
I need a flute like that.
Yeah, I like Stray Bullet. I wish he hadn't. I actually wish the boys had made it out alive, but they kind of all had to pay their dues towards the end. I felt bad for Butch, because Butch died a virgin, but he did comedically say, not in a dress, because he gets killed in a dress.
He should have been the one to give the leprechaun the blowjob, because then at least he could have gotten that before he died.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, I like the movie a lot. It's a horrible movie.
I can't believe what you're saying right now.
You know what it is? Because here's the thing with these movies. Critters went to space by the third one, but that is a logical step, because the critters are from space. Okay, right. That's one. Jason went to space. That's one of the worst movies I've seen in my life. It's
that's not logical at all.
It's horrendous. And they're trying to be funny, like this is trying to be funny. This is actually funny compared to that pile of shit.
Leprechaun in Space is a terrible, terrible movie, but there are some cool scenes in it.
Right, I mean, it's
creature thing.
The thing with Leprechaun movies is that they'll be bad, but Leprechaun's funny in it, and then there's funny stuff that happens in it because of Leprechaun.
And there's cool effects.
Right, like Leprechaun in Space is pretty horrible, but not as horrible as I thought it would be. It's horrible though. I mean, don't go see it.
Yeah, but some of those special effects are awesome.
Yeah.
And the Leprechaun's always got the best things. And the fact that he does shoot the guns is so stupid that it's genius.
Yeah, so Jason went to space. That was terrible. What was that? Pinhead went to space?
Oh, okay.
I didn't even bother with that. Although I'm sure Pinhead in Space is... the only thing I remember is that they actually had these twin actors who were trying to get big in Hollywood, and they get fused.
They have
split in half in that movie.
alien pinheads.
Aren't they all space hell aliens or some shit like that? So anyway, that went to space. Freddy Krueger, thankfully, Freddy Krueger went a different way. They went meta, and they went like into real life. I never saw New Nightmare. I didn't even want to bother watching it. All I saw from New Nightmare was the scene where a little boy had to cross a street. And it was
really,
the worst.
Really stupid. And the giant up in the sky.
It was the worst graphic. Still to my mind, that's all I remember is the worst special effects.
It's basically just the idea that we should review it.
It's horrible, those graphics. So anyway, for this film to jump into trying to start a new genre, I didn't mind it at all. Like, I thought it was actually pretty decent, because it kind of kept... All it did was basically replace all the white people with black characters. That's all it did. Right. It didn't make anything huge like he was trying to... Like, they obviously were trying to switch genres, because they weren't
Las Vegas is still better.
there weren't really many prominent African American horror films, unless you count Killjoy, which I still don't count.
No, we won't count that.
Killjoy did the opposite. Killjoy, by the third film, went to white people. He started terrorizing white people. Also, Killjoy was a black character. Then he turned white in the second film, and then he was like, "Fuck this! I gotta be only white people." He was laughing on that shit.
I hate that character.
They made a second Leprechaun in the Hood. I remember sure. Maybe
Back in the Hood.
Maybe Coolio's in it. I don't know, sure. But anyway, by the end of this film, Postmaster P decides that he is he becomes like a Puff Daddy. Maybe this is the rise of Puff Daddy. You know what I mean? This is P Diddy. Excuse me. But he becomes a rapper that doesn't need a microphone on stage, which is pretty funny.
Right.
And it leads to...
He always has, smoke around him and high beams.
Here's what the trivia... This is amazing trivia, though, on IMDb that somebody wrote. They wrote, "This is the 5th movie in the Leprechaun series, although the number 5 doesn't appear anywhere in the title of credits." I can't believe Could you imagine the fucking guy who sat down and wrote that? Because this movie, that's the only trivia in the film.
Is that really it?
That's really it on IMDb.
Warwick Davis was nominated for Best Actor for Straight to Video.
What do you mean?
that was what I read.
Oh, really? Oh, well, yeah. I don't know. That's trivia I see here. Anyway, you want to talk about the final sequence?
The rap?
Uh-huh.
I don't really want to talk
about
it.
I guess Leprechaun becomes the manager. They kill Mac Daddy. He gets shot. Funny enough, he gets shot to death. He doesn't die. He does supernatural death. I'm sorry. He does get his chest blown out just like the other guy. But at the end, I guess Leprechaun manages Postmaster P, and Postmaster P becomes a rapper who does not need a microphone on stage. Maybe that's supernatural? I don't know. He's just kind of dancing there.
Well, he does have the green eyes.
What were the lyrics at the end of his song? It was like... I'm who I gotta be. They fucked me in the neck. That's all I kept hearing.
I don't remember at this point.
He's like, he kept saying they fucked me in the neck, and I was like, that can't be right. Who says they fucked me in the neck?
No, it wasn't that.
He does say they fucked me. They fucked the neck, or they fucked. It was very strange. But anyway, at the end, Leprechaun is his man. He goes, he learned everything I knew. I had an original, really bad racist joke, but I'm not gonna do it in this episode. Maybe if we do part 2. But anyway. At the end, the Leprechaun, Warwick Davis, decides to do a white guy rap. And,
but he's got some,
This is the only...
The Leprechaun.
What's funny is this is the only sequence that has the most, fantastical camera movement. Like, it's really good camera movement. Kind of seems like the film's shot regular. This had, nice little swipes to the left and the right and dollies. Yeah, just in this for this rap.
And everything.
And it's pretty... they wrote these to try to be, catchy rap songs. Just like the Jesus Loves Me, I'm Not Sure song. Because that was horrendous. I
bet there's, a soundtrack that has all of his
songs. Yeah, it was... you see it at the end. It was, soundtrack available on whatever kind of records. It was, a red logo on it. And I was like, who boy?
Those 3 guys probably really were trying to make a rap album.
I don't know. 'Cause that's kind of like the guy who was in that film. Oh man, there was some movie about Dirty South, rapping, that came out a while back, which was pretty good. There was a movie. It won an Oscar for its song called "It's Hot Out There for a Pimp," and that actor. No, that movie was fucking great. It really was good. That movie. I just can't think of what it was called. But that actor tried to get into rap after that, trying to do dirty southern rap. And
right.
Yes, now he was in Iron Man. He was the original roadie, not the second one. But anyway, with this film, they were trying to rap, and at the end, Leprechaun does this goofy rap at the end.
Don Cheadle?
No, the one before him. Rhodey from part 1. He's a different actor. Light-skinned guy.
I'm looking it up.
In this one, the Leprechaun does this horrendous rap, and he's like, "I'm here from the hood, and I got a good," shit like that. And he's doing it really... did you like Postmaster P's impression of him? He did a pretty good voiceover from... Remember when he was about to kill him?
Okay. Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard what was his movie? He was in a rap movie.
I don't know. Keep talking.
So anyway, the Leprechaun is doing this rap, and it's really nice rap, really nice camera movements, and he has all his hoes dancing around. It's funny because they smoked that weed that had the 4-leaf clovers, and they turned normal, and now he's possessing them again. But it's really embarrassing. I felt bad because all these people had to be good actors because they had to pretend this fucking music was good because it was terrible. And he's rapping and shit.
It reminded me of you just feel so humiliated when you're watching a play that someone invited you to,
Danny,
go and see someone sing in front of people at a talent show or whatever.
Danny, I literally put my hands over my eyes and watched through my fingers. I'm not kidding. I literally did that. I put my fingers over my face, like, you know when you're embarrassed to see something?
It's like when you see Kelsey Grammer fall off the stage. Or
no, I watched that. I watched it repeated. What are you talking about? That was great.
No, but you just feel so bad. You know?
There's a clip online with, I have to look at the name of that fucking movie. Where is it?
Hustle and Flow.
Yeah, that was a great movie. And he tried to, I guess Terrence Howard was trying to release a rap album. Anybody watching this, don't watch Leprechaun in the Hood. Well, do watch it, but watch Hustle and Flow. That was a great rap movie.
No, watch Leprechaun in the Hood.
No, yeah, go watch it.
If you're listening to this.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe we're warning them. But, so anyway, he raps at the end. There's a video online of this girl. Like, if you want to really cringe about something, there's a video online about this little girl doing using a puppet at a talent show, and it's really horrible. Like, it's really embarrassing to watch. That's only, like, if you have the stomach for it. I know you wouldn't, but I was like, oh, bad. That's how embarrassed I was. I was like, oh, just looking at this. But it was funny. I had a weird thought watching this film. Yeah. I was like, I wonder if, like, neo-Nazis use rap, and they do. Did you know that neo-Nazis have rap groups? It's mostly like Polish and other countries that like the really hardcore neo-Nazis. I'm sure there's hardcore neo-Nazis in the U.S., but they actually have rap groups.
There's no racism in the U.S.
Yeah, we're all getting along here. But there really are, and I couldn't believe that shit is for real. If you look it on YouTube, just look up neo-Nazi rap.
Doesn't surprise me, actually. Whatever.
But I mean, it's like
new audience.
And there's guys on YouTube saying, "Yeah, man, you know," and I understand like white pride or whatever. But like when you're just like super racist, and you're using music that's primarily created by African Americans, right. You try to use it to fucking get white people proud of them.
Well, it's like,
it's fucking hilarious. Enemy,
whatever.
Was that?
You know, like Know Your Enemy.
What is that from Rage Against the Machine?
Art of War, that thing. Like,
what
they're trying to like
I'm thinking like
on the enemy to attack the
enemy.
Oh,
I see. I thought you meant like that Wesley Snipes movie, which was very good. He was in part 2, and that had nothing to do with the first one. How dare he? I had a bullet time shootout too. So anyway, but like slowed down movie. Yeah. So anyway, this movie's horrible, but it's entertaining.
What would you rate this movie?
I would actually rate this film. I'm in quite a conundrum, Danny. I was
rate it as just a movie that whether you like it, whether it's good or bad, you would recommend.
All right, I was gonna give it a 7, but you know what? I'll give it a 5, which means you could watch it. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Oh man, we didn't even mention one of the greatest characters of all time, Fontaine Rivera, the drag queen.
Oh yeah,
that they stay with. Why they knew her drag queen? Who knows? But there's a drag queen that has some sort of sex scene in this film, but it's actually a murder scene. And just the look on Leprechaun's face as he tries to hook up with him is one of the greatest things this movie ever. That's why it gets bumped up to watchable. But I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Simulated sex scene, which is actually somebody getting choked to death with their organs being pulled out.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a.
Is that it?
I don't know. Yeah, it's like a conundrum because it's so bad. Like, but people should see it because it's so bad, you know.
Yeah.
But I just don't find it nearly as enjoyable as In Space.
I think it's just because of the skin.
I find myself feeling far worse for the actors. So
I think it's just the color of the skin that you have a problem with, Danny. But go ahead.
No, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. You know, grandma stabbing out a leprechaun's eye.
That was funny.
While trying to feed him.
Oh, happy St. Patrick's Day. So, Danny, what's the final word? The final word.
McGovernor.